unselfish play. That unselfishness became contagious. Oh, man. Ty Lawson showing you he's got some ups to go with that speed.
Gallinari with the crossover.
What is up, Denver Nuggets fans? Denver Nuggets fan 2 back here again, here to give you guys my game recap for the Nuggets 103-95 loss due to Los Angeles Clippers on Wednesday night. We fell to 18-16 with this loss. Tough one for us. Really close game throughout. Just didn't execute down the stretch, and I thought some horrible late lineup management by George Karl really cost us the win here against the Clippers. It was a pretty poor shooting night for the Nuggets overall. We were only 40% from the field, 26% from the three-point line, 74% from the free throw line. Across the board, they didn't shoot too well. Clippers as well weren't great, but they were a little bit better than us. They were 44% from the field, 26% from the three-point line, and 71% from the free throw line. Looking at some good things we did in this game, we did have 14 offensive rebounds. I really did love the energy and effort our bigs mainly brought on the glass. That Kenneth Faried was great once again on the offensive glass. I think he finished with 5 offensive rebounds, and the effort was definitely there in terms of our rebounding. I really liked what we did on the offensive glass, and we created a lot of second chance possessions for ourselves, which is always a plus. We had 21 assists. Thought the ball movement all game was pretty damn good. We had 48 points in the paint. We're pretty aggressive for the most part, doing a good job of getting some high percentage shots, and getting some easy buckets. Did a pretty solid job of that. And I thought our bench was great. Our bench outscored the Clippers bench 38-13. Our bench absolutely dominated the game. Jordan Hamilton came in, gave us a great lift. Al Harrington had a decent game, and Kosta Kuvas played well. I mean, our bench really did play well, and I thought for the most part, they dominated the Clippers bench in this game. The bad things, though, for the Nuggets in this game, while we did have 14 offensive rebounds, we gave up 17 offensive rebounds. Once again, that's been a reoccurring problem for us. We gave a great offensive team way too many second chance possessions, and it came back to hurt us. I mean, Mozgov looked lost out there. He did a terrible job of boxing out DeAndre Jordan. I think Jordan had 9 offensive rebounds in this game. I mean, that's just ridiculous. So I really didn't like our box outs here in this game, mainly from Mozgov, just because, I mean, DeAndre Jordan just absolutely killed us on the offensive glass, and you give up 17 offensive rebounds. That's ridiculous. We also gave up 15 fast break points. That our transition D could have been a little better. I thought we let the Clippers at times in this game outrun us, which is something I don't like seeing. So that could have been a little better. Our starters once again did not play well. Our starters got outscored by the Clippers starters 90-57. So while your bench plays well and your bench dominates the opposition's bench, your starters played terrible. I mean, for our starters to get outscored in this game by 33 points, you're not going to beat any team when that happens. Our starting 5 just did not show up in this game, and we really didn't have a scoring punch from anyone in our starting lineup. I know we have injuries, but to me that's not an excuse. So that was really frustrating. I mean, our starters just didn't play too well, and they got destroyed by the Clippers starting 5. And Griffin and Paul, just those 2 alone combined for 63 points. So your starting 5 got outscored by 2 players. That you're not going to beat many teams when that happens. Defensively, I thought we did a poor job of defending. Griffin and Chris Paul, that they really did a great job of running the pick and roll here. And like I said, they combined for 63 points. They also combined for a shooting night at 22-34 from the field and 16-22 from the free throw line. Those 2 guys just killed us, and they both played really well. Chris Paul absolutely tore us up. We really had no one that could even slow him down. And like I said, a lot of it had to do with the execution in the pick and roll by the Clippers, and your starters just aren't playing well, and defensively you're allowing the 2 best players on the floor to just go off. You can't expect to win when that happens, and when Griffin and Paul alone score more points than your starting 5 do, you can't expect to win. And then the fourth quarter execution was terrible. We were outscored 23-16 in the fourth quarter. That's why you lose. I mean, we had every opportunity to win this game. And as I said earlier, I think George Karl's lineup management here in this game, especially in the fourth quarter, really hurt us and really cost us the win. And I think it was a big reason we lost. I mean, on why Jordan Hamilton was sitting on the bench, with 5 minutes to go, is beyond me. And why Al Harrington was still in there over Jordan Hamilton down the stretch stretch in this game is ridiculous. That's totally on George Karl. I thought was an idiotic move by him. I mean, Al Harrington missed 3 wide open three-pointers that Jordan Hamilton probably would have hit, and we probably would have ended up winning the game if you just play Hamilton there. Just Harrington was really struggling, and for Karl to stick with him over a guy in Hamilton who was playing really well really upset me and really frustrated me. And even when he didn't play Faried down the stretch, I mean that's just really frustrating. And I think a lot of this loss definitely falls on George Karl's lineup management here, especially in that fourth quarter. Looking at some individual performances here for the Nuggets, Arron Afflalo led the way for us. He finished with 20 points, 6 rebounds, 3 assists on 7 of 10 shooting from the field, 2 of 4 from the three-point line, and 4 of 5 from the free throw line. I thought Arron Afflalo played pretty well in this game. I thought he stayed aggressive all night. Was attacking the basket and trying to get us going offensively, and what was obviously our main go-to guy offensively here in this game, because he's one of the few guys that could hit a shot. I mean, you love seeing him get 20 points on only 10 shots. Very efficient night from Afflalo on the offensive end, and for him to shoot 70% from the field, you love seeing that. Just once again continuing to play with a sense of confidence, starting to get his legs back and just starting to get in a rhythm, and he's just playing really well. So I was real happy with Afflalo's performance. Thought he shot the ball well, thought he was aggressive and tried getting us going offensively. And Jordan Hamilton had a great game. It's great to see him play well. He finished with a career high 18 points to go along with 7 rebounds. He was 6 of 11 from the field, 4 of 5 from the three-point line, and 2 of 2 from the free throw line. Gave us a great spark off the bench. Thought did a phenomenal job of moving without the ball and getting some really good looks from the three-point line, and knocked him down. He hit some big threes in this game for us. Gave us a great spark off the bench, and then had that dunk over Reggie Evans where he absolutely posterized Reggie Evans. That was a great play, and I thought Hamilton played great. I was just real disappointed in Coach Karl that he did not play Hamilton down the stretch. I mean, he put Hamilton back in the game with like a minute and 10 seconds to go when we were already down by 8 points. It was ridiculous, and it really upset me because I thought Hamilton was playing great and he was really feeling it from beyond the arc, and I thought he played really well in this game. And lastly, you get another good game from Kenneth Faried. He finishes with 12 points, 9 rebounds, 2 steals, and a block. Was 5 of 8 from the field, 2 of 2 from the free throw line. Had like 4 or 5 alley-oops in this game. I mean, for the Clippers being Lob City, we came up in their building and had like 5, 6 alley-oops in this game. It looked like Denver was the real Lob City in this game, and then Faried was on the receiving end of a lot of those alley-oops from Andre Miller. Did a great job of running the floor. Was great on the offensive glass. I think had 5 offensive rebounds and played really well. Was real happy with Faried's performance. Defensively, could he been a little better on Blake Griffin? Sure. But I thought for the most part, he played with great energy, was real active, and made some plays, and like I said, had a bunch of alley-oops in this game. For the Clippers, obviously Chris Paul led the way. He finished with a season high, I believe, 36 points, 9 assists, 2 steals, was 11 of 16 from the field, 3 of 7 from the three-point line, and 11 of 12 from the free throw line. Did a great job of creating contact like he always does and getting to the foul line, drawing fouls, especially on Julian Stone. And we just really had no one to guard him. I thought he did a great job of orchestrating the pick and roll for the Clippers. I thought our pick and roll defense was absolutely terrible, and Chris Paul, being the great player and point guard that he is, took advantage of that and did a great job being super efficient. I mean, to get 36 points on 16 shots, that's great. Was really efficient, as I just mentioned, and did a great job of being aggressive, utilizing the pick and roll to his advantage, taking advantage of our lapses in our defense and just going off, and we really had no one to contain him. He absolutely destroyed us in the second half, and was just knocking down shots and being aggressive and getting to the foul line and played fantastic. And him and Blake Griffin, the way they utilized the pick and roll was really fun to watch as a basketball fan, obviously not as a Nuggets fan though. Blake Griffin also had a great game, 27 points, 12 rebounds for Blake Griffin. He finishes with double-double, also had 5 assists. He was 11 of 18 from the field and 5 of 10 from the free throw line. Like Chris Paul, did a good job of creating contact and get to the free throw line. I think Blake Griffin flops as good as anyone in the league. It's one of the things I dislike about his game the most. I think Blake Griffin's a great player. He's one of my favorite players in the NBA, but the one thing that drives me nuts about the guy is he flops a ton, and he did that here once in this game, and he complains a lot, but he played great. And like I said, the execution in the pick and roll by him and Chris Paul was great. Blake Griffin had a bunch of dunks in this game that were easy dunks. I mean, wide open dunks right at the rim. No one there to even contest the shot. And just took advantage of Kenneth Faried, in this game. I thought he did a good job of attacking Faried. I thought Faried played him pretty tough, though. Faried had a nice foul on Blake Griffin where it looked like Griffin was going to have a dunk, and Faried hit him with a hard foul. But for the most part, Griffin and Paul were just too effective in this game for us to win, and a lot of it had to do with the pick and roll. It set up a lot of easy dunks for Blake Griffin, and he took advantage of it. And lastly, DeAndre Jordan also had a good game for the Clippers. He finishes with a double-double, 10 points, 16 rebounds for him, 9 of which were offensive. He also had 3 blocks. He was 5 of 9 from the field, 0 of 1 from the free throw line. All his points were dunks and off offensive rebounds. Terrible job by Mozgov of keeping him off the glass. I mean, that's really the only thing that DeAndre Jordan can do is rebound the ball and then get put back dunks. That's really the only source of offense for him. That's where it's going to come from, is off offensive rebounds, and he did a good job of that. Had 16 boards in the game, 9 of which were offensive, and Mozgov, I just thought, did a terrible job of not matching Jordan's intensity level and not doing a good job of boxing him out. Jordan took advantage of I guess Mozgov being a little soft here in this game, to be honest with you, and got a couple dunks off offensive rebounds and killed us on the glass and created a lot of second chance possessions for his team, and we can't allow that and expect to beat the Clippers. So tough loss for us. We fall to 18-16 with this win. Game we probably should have won, but we let Chris Paul and Blake Griffin be too effective. Our pick and roll defense was terrible, and I think George Karl's lineup management down the stretch cost us another win this season.